Hi guys, it is Thursday, January 26th. Today I wanted to talk about a very important topic that I finally figured out why it is that I am so exhausted. I have been exhausted for about 3 weeks now, where I wake up in the morning and I wish I had 3 more hours to sleep, and the whole day my eyelids are like I'm trying to keep my eyes open. I've never had this level of exhaustion before. And I thought maybe it was because, my daughter was having some medical issues last week and we were in and out of the hospital a few times and that was rough. But it was before that it started, and I've never experienced this type of exhaustion before. And then I got my answer. I got my answer from the same guy that I got a huge validation from a few weeks ago, and I made a video about that. His name is Gettys. And a few weeks ago, he used the words forced awakening, that we're headed towards a forced awakening. And he gave me the gift of those two words to explain why it is I want the EBS to happen so badly. But this time, he gave me a different gift. He gave me a gift of understanding why it is that I am so exhausted down to the core of my soul. Like, I've never experienced this level of being just completely depleted. So this is what Martin said. First of all, this is Martin Gettys. I spent 15 minutes just Googling him and looking him up, and this is a bio that is on Amazon about him. He wrote many books, and he's a writer. He's a brilliant guy, Martin Gettys. He's a British computer scientist based in London, has also lived and worked in the USA. Following a career as a telecoms industry guru, he became a whistleblower. And he was a whistleblower on corruption in tech and media. As a result, he has become a leading authority on the Q phenomenon, and an outcast in his industry. So he has been a hero for a while, Martin Gettys, and he has been a whistleblower. So kol hakavod, all the honor goes to you, Martin Gettys, for being so outspoken and being so brave and risking your life and career to speak up and speak out. So what did Martin Gettys say? What did he say? He put out, I think, on Truth Social. I think he's on Twitter and Truth Social. 9 different reasons why we are all so exhausted. And he's probably even more tired than me because he seems like he's been awake longer. And I give so much credit to the people who have been awake for decades. I don't know how you did it. I have no idea how you have the strength and the endurance and the resilience to know what I know now, that we're living in a fear-based bullshit matrix where all these systems have been instituted by evil to keep us in a fear-based state and disconnected from God. That was what their game was, and we're smart. We're onto it now. And the hardest part and why we're so exhausted is because, his number one reason, we have been fighting on many fronts. Number one, to keep up the pretense of participation. Those words just slayed me. They slayed me. They stopped me in my tracks, because that's why I'm tired. That's why I'm tired. The pretense of participation that I have to keep up on my daily basis, because nobody else in my life really is awake to the level that I'm awake, and understand that, paying taxes and paying insurance bills and paying for energy and electric, all that stuff is cabal bullshit. So Martin says, we have been fighting on many fronts to keep up the pretense of participation in worldly stuff, like doing taxes, licenses, registrations. Okay, that's his first of 9 different reasons, and I posted this to my Telegram channel if you want to read more, his other 8 reasons of why we're all so exhausted in the awakened community. It's really validating and really life affirming. My channel is Gila Jed channel on Telegram, where I post all the stuff that is just I find so uplifting. I try to share it with as many people as possible. And that's such a good feeling also. When I come across something that's like lightning for me, I have a place. I love social media for that reason, because I have a place where I could share it and I could uplift you and I could make you feel better. If it made me feel better, I hope it makes you feel better. My friend on Facebook, Carolyn, she triggered this whole video for me because she wrote a message to one of my posts that she's just so exhausted. And I'm like, I get you, girl. I get you. We're tired. We're carrying the weight of living with carrying on the pretense. We're living in a charade, and that's exhausting. It's the pretense of participating in a world that we no longer ascribe to, but we have to for a little longer so our personal worlds don't fall apart. But we're getting close to the end of this movie, and how do I know? Because my friend Colin, who also is a brilliant guy and has a brilliant way with words and a brilliant way of framing things, like my friend Ellie Weber, the Kabbalah guru, always says, Colin OBrien has a brilliant way of framing the narrative. And he framed the narrative. I'm going to read it to you guys so beautifully 2 days ago for me. And it really made me feel hopeful. And I hope it does the same for you. What did Colin say? He said, so the U.S. actually defaulted on its debt in 2020, right? This past week, we saw the headline that the U.S. hit the debt ceiling and whatnot. But he said it actually defaulted on its debt in 2020. And that's why D.C. and other federal buildings have been empty. We know that, these people that go around filming in D.C., what's her name? I forgot her name. But like Richard Citizen journalist and that other girl, she's so cute, I forgot her name. She's been filming that there's fences going up around all these federal buildings, and there's nobody coming and going, and the lights are off, and we know that these buildings are DOA, they're down. So what did Colin say next? He said, we're at the part of the movie that the script has caught up to the reality. Like what happened in 2020, 2 years ago, is now a headline. So the reality is the timelines have merged. They have caught up. The lag time is over. We have no lag time anymore. So what is happening? What has happened can now show up in today's headlines. We're all caught up. The movie is all caught up. So he said now the normies can see that things are vastly different. So that's really what we're waiting for, is for more and more people to wake up. So when the EBS does happen, they won't be freaked out. There won't be as much chaos anymore, because people have already had their seeding of their own consciousness that there's something wrong in the world right now. So I just wanted to share these two epiphanies, these two wonderful gifts that I received of words, of how words can really save your life. And that's why I really love writing, and that's why I wrote my book about God and sharing my sentiments about how I relate to God. Because I hope that it could help people out there relate to God the same way and feel God in the same way. That's how powerful words can be. And I thank you, Martin Gettys, wherever you are, for being such a hero. And thank you, Colin OBrien, for being in my life. And Ellie Weber, the Kabbalah guru, and everybody else out there who's awake and who's listening. God bless you all. Mwah. Have a great day.